Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, today we are going to be again a new study. We're not in school yet. Well, almost. Anyway, long story. We're going to begin a new series about bullet journaling. I have got several videos on my channel of playing with me in a planner, and the problem that I have is I always go back and forth between a bullet journal and a planner. And the perfectionist that I am, if it's not supposed to go in a field, I have a really hard time just writing in that field. So, for example, if it's got a time block and it says appointments, well, if I don't have any appointments for that day, logically I could write something else there, like a to-do list or something that I want to remember, but my brain doesn't work that way. So a bullet journal works really good because it's not structured. If I don't like a page the next week, I can just change the page and redesign it. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is we're going to do a little bit of bullet journal with me. I am going to explain a little bit about my process, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch off the voice and just let you guys watch me create the pages, and then I'll come back at the end and we'll talk about what I did. But before we do that, I wanted to show you, these are some of the different bullet journals that I have done in the past, and this one is extremely well worn and loved. So if you don't know what a bullet journal is basically just a place where you can design your own pages, where you can keep up with you know, data, notes, to-do lists, trackers, all that good stuff. There is so many videos out there for bullet journals if you have never seen this before. But I really like it because I tend to make a lot of notes that I can come back to and reference later. I've done some where they're, see how pretty they're, you know, if I'm feeling artsy one week, I can do that, and if not, I don't have to do that. You know, this was a calendar here, so instead of a typical calendar, you just put the day and the date on there, and then you just write in there what appointments that you have. So I use that for a while, and then I go back and forth. So it just works for me. So you can put things like this, workout routines, food logs, weight loss trackers. This is a future planner. So, and see, I've even got some with the typical month. So this is back from 2017. So anyway, long story short, that's what we're going to be doing today, is kind of setting up my new bullet journal for this week. And so I have not been a big person to plan for the week, but my life is fixing to get really busy with going back to work. I homeschool my kids, and I'm fixing to start back to school myself. So if I do not have a strict routine and plan, I am not going to get everything done. So there's going to be just some general bullet journal with me videos coming up ahead. There's going to be some for college student planning, some for homeschooling. So just keep a check back. I will say that these pages here, I stole this idea from a gal on YouTube, and I cannot remember her name. I will link the original video below, but this is all for a YouTube channel or a blog. So I have already got these pages designed in here, but we're just going to continue on and plan the next thing that needs to be planned for the week. So I've already got an October calendar in here, but this is for my YouTube channel, and you see I've not done a lot this month, so trying to grow a YouTube channel too, all of that is going to require a lot of time and planning on my part. So at this point, I'm just going to mute myself, and we'll speed up the video a little bit, and I'm going to design these pages, and whenever I'm done, I will come back and we'll talk about what I created and why I created it. Hey guys, before I dive into my weekly planning, I wanted to also show you this other book that I have got, and I have got another video on it, and I will link that down below where you can actually watch. But this is in essence where I keep my to-do list or whatever. I like it where I can keep the majority of like my weekly plan or my important notes or whatever in here versus a bunch of to-do lists, because statistics show that half or whatever, 2/3 of what you write down you don't even do anyway. So this is really just a place that I give myself permission to be extremely messy. You'll see it is a mess. I mean, there is nothing pretty about it, and I'm not going to go into how I use this, but because there's a whole nother video that explains that. So what you're going to see me do now is I'm just going to go through here and double check anything that has already been done and cross that off, and anything that I'm wanting to do or that I see that needs to be done. This is basically the equivalent of my brain dump. So these are things that I know for sure that I need to get done. So I'm going to just speed up the video and cross those off, and then I will explain how I use this in combination with my bullet journal.
I don't understand why you're thinking of you had me at alone. I don't understand why you're thinking of you had me at alone. I don't understand why you're
Okay, so once I've got everything that I can possibly think of that I want to do in my head wrote down, then I'm going to switch over and see how I can plug some of this stuff into my weekly plan. Now, if you'll notice, as I was writing, I flipped over and wrote something on my grocery list because I realized that one of the things that I needed to do was put flea meds on my dogs, but I don't have the flea meds yet, so I had to put that over on groceries. You'll also know that I put a P beside of some of the stuff, and that just means that it's not just a simple task, but it's a project. So I have realized for me personally that when I create a to-do list, oftentimes I will put a whole project on a task, and then and never get it done because it's so overwhelming. And the reason that is because I need to take that project and I need to break it down into smaller steps. So for this one here, I need to clean out my tiny house that I'm working on. That is not just one simple to do. That's going to take me hours or even days, and it's going to be steps. Like there are furniture that needs to be moved. There is boxes that needs to be hauled to the recycling bin. You know what I'm saying? So if I just put clean out tiny house as a task for a day, that's going to be too overwhelming, and I'm never going to get that done. The same thing under patio cleaned out. That's not just a simple to-do list. That's going to involve multiple steps. So that is more of a project. The reason that I do this is if I go through here and I put a bunch of projects on one day, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to have enough time to get that done. So what I have to realize is that, okay, this may be the project that I want to focus on this week, getting under the patio cleaned out. And so I can break that down. So maybe there's 7 steps that I have for that. I can do 1 step each day, and then by the end of the week, that will be completed. And so I won't get overwhelmed, and I won't avoid crossing that off my task list. So the reason I'm going to go ahead and share this, just because we're here and you may be wondering, I encourage you to go over and watch the other video, but each of these pages are numbered at the bottom, and then there's a corresponding number. The reason being is I take the time to write all of this stuff. It would be crazy for me to rewrite everything in here again. So what I do is I'm going to come over here to my weekly notes page, and first of all, I'm going to plug in everything that I need to get done for the week, important dates, etc. So I know on Tuesday I have got an appointment, so 11 a.m. and I'm going to put my name because that's an appointment for me, and I'm not going to put the what it is because that's personal information. But then I know that my brother's birthday is here, so let me go over here. I realized that I did not put this on my key, so I have to put the key there. So I'm going to come back over here, and this is my brother's birthday. Nope, I did that wrong. It's October the 21st. Okay, and I'm going to leave that alone because I don't know where my whiteout is at the moment, or I may just put a sticker to cover it. That's what I'm notorious to do. Okay, then I know that I have got to go back to work. I can't remember if it's the 22nd or the 23rd because I broke my wrist and had to have surgery, so I've been out of work. I think my last day is the 21st. I can't remember if it's the 22nd or the 23rd. I'll have to double check. So I know for sure that I have to work on Friday the 23rd, so I'm just going to put that here because I got to get back into my new swing of things. And I'm going to leave this blank because I'm not sure if this is my last day or if this is my last day before I go back. So I know that I have to work Friday. Next week on the 26th, I begin my semester, fall semester. And I will be doing a separate video for that, setting all of that up. But once I do begin school, that will definitely be planned into my week after I create that. So look for that next week, and we'll create a plan where we actually put school assignments and stuff in here too. But for this week, this is looking good. And I also mentioned at the beginning of the video that I'm bad to use planners too. So I don't have anything this day. I know that I've got an appointment at 1 p.m. next week on the 26th that I'm going to have to move. So I'm going to put that down on Monday to call and reschedule that. I'm going to put the date here. Okay, so that is all of my rough stuff that I need to get done this week. for that. So what I'm going to do now is I can see the things that I have got to get done. So for me personally, I create what is my perfect day schedule in my head. So I'm going to write it down here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to put it in here yet because I'm going to make that part of my daily list. So I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. right now and feed a puppy. So, and then at 6:30 wake up. And so during this time I'm going to do my coffee and Bible study. Okay, then starting at 7:30 a.m. housework. Okay, 8:30 arts and crafts. So that is personal time. Then at 9:30 a.m. I get my boys awake for breakfast. Alright, 10 to 12 is their schoolwork, where I actually sit down and help them and they get their assignments. And then anything that they can't get done during that time, or if it's something that they can work on alone, they continue to work after that, because we have lunch from 12 to 1. And then I come downstairs and do my job from 1 to 4 p.m. And then from 4 to 5 p.m. is supper time. I'm running out of room. So we got 4 to 5 is supper time. Okay, and then I do school, my personal school study and work from 6 to 8. And if I don't have any work, I can also do arts and crafts here. Okay, and then we've got that. And then from 8 to 10 is family time, bed routines, etc. And then I try to be in the bed at 9:30, and I usually sit and watch a little bit of TV, and then 10 p.m. lights out, and then it starts back over again at 4:30 a.m. Now, does it always work out like this? No, absolutely not, because there's different appointments on different days, etc. But this is right now my perfect day's schedule. So what I have to do is I have to decide, okay, the time that I have got to do housework pretty much is just routines of the day, such as doing dishes, making sure that laundry's done, sweeping, cleaning the bathrooms each morning, making the beds, etc. I do not do my boys' beds. They do their own, so making my own bed. Yeah, all of that good stuff. If there's anything that I can do in the house with it getting cold, I can do that. But if not, we do in the afternoons. If I have a light study day, I either don't do arts and crafts and we do chores that day, or we'll do some in the afternoon. But now with it becoming winter, 8 to 10 is usually dark, so we won't have as much time outside. So with this stuff here, I've got to strategically plan. So the mirror on Justin's dresser, that has to be hauled in from upstairs. That's something that I can't do with my wrist, so that will have to be something that my hubby can do. So I'm going to put that down as a task. And what I do is, instead of repeating it, I just put it as a task, so I know that. So I put the page number, which is, let me zoom out, sorry. So I put the task, and I only wrote them on every other page, sorry. So this is page 16, task 7. So what I will do is I'll put page 16, task 7. I can do that on Monday, and I just put a little S once it's scheduled. Burn leaves and limbs, that could also be done here. So page 16, task 8. but also I have to get a burn-in permit before I can do that. And I'm not going to write that on my to-do list because I need to make sure that that is done prior to me burning the leaves and the limbs. I'm not going to do anything for that. I'm going to go ahead and work on this advanced school system thing here. So and I wrote this one out, but it's page 16, task 10. So when that one is done, I will know. That's more of a project, so that's something I'm going to take a good part of the day to do. Okay, and then on Tuesday, my schedule's already going to be messed up because I have an appointment that day. On Wednesday, we can definitely do, let's see, page 16, task 11. And we're going to do, this is going to take multiple days, so I will probably put a little bit of this here. This is going to be page 16, task 12. Page 16. This is cleaning out under that patio that I talked about. So I know that's going to take multiple days. Page 16, task 12. Page 16, task 12. So I've got 3 days of doing that. That should be plenty. My art room cleaned. I can definitely do that one during the day and the morning time, and just split my arts and crafts time with actually cleaning my arts and craft room. So I've already got multiple tasks here. I don't try to schedule more than 5 in a day, so this is definitely going to be it for Monday. So we're going to do page 16, task 13, and we're going to do a little bit of this every morning, except for these days that I'm going back to work, because I'm going to have enough to do getting back in the swing of things. Page 16, task 13. And the thing about the craft room and the patio and all of that stuff is not time sensitive, so it will be okay. And again, putting the S there whenever I've got it scheduled to do. Okay, so none of this other stuff is really urgent. I do need to get the flea meds on the dogs this week. So I'm just going to come up here to the top because I don't really know what day that I need to do this, but I know that it needs to be done this week. So we're going to do page 17, task 2. And today we're going to come over here and do, this is page 17, task 3. We're going to do some of this week, page 17, task 3, no, task 4. Got enough on Monday. If I get to it, that's okay, and I'll come in and put it down, but I don't want to schedule for me to do that. So page 17, task 4. I can definitely do this. This is making one of my videos. Page 17, task 5. And we're going to take this over to here. We're going to do page 17, task 6. And this one is really time sensitive, so I need to plan to do this one on Tuesday and Wednesday. Page 17, task 7. This is my desk task. Okay, so we've got all of that done. So I don't have anything, I don't have more than 5 tasks in a day. And if anything comes up that is urgent for me to do, I will simply move it to another day. Like I said, none of this is really time sensitive except for this one. And I'm just going to put a little exclamation point just to remind myself that this one must be done on those days. So the rest of this stuff is no sweat if I do not get it done. Now, the reason that I do this is, let me write this down here because I've scheduled this and this and this and this. and this, and this. So I literally have got my week set up to where I'm going to do 4 projects. No, yeah, 4 projects. Well, I've got 3 projects scheduled, and then these multiple tasks. Now, again, this is not set in stone. This is just a plan. I have realized that if I do not create a plan, I don't ever get anything done. It's better to have a plan and things come up and you have to move it around and get a little bit done than to have no plan and nothing at all gets done. So, yeah, that works. And what I do is I'm really weird about carrying my bullet journal everywhere with me. This, on the other hand, is no big deal. There is nothing in here that's absolutely time sensitive, except for, you know, the tasks that I have got down here. So if this is lost, there's really no big deal. You know, so this is what I generally carry. This is what I keep by my nightstand. So if I wake up in the middle of the night or I'm having a hard time falling asleep, I just sit down and make tasks like this. And the good thing about having it all numbered and all that good stuff is you have a way to cross-reference and come back to it. So, yeah, that is how I do that. So that is my weekly plan for this week. I've got my menu planned already over here, what we're going to eat. I've got my little bit of grocery list of what I've got to go pick up. I've got my schedule for the week that I'm going to try to stick to. Again, this is not set in stone. This is just my goal thing. I'm going to do it like this. I've got my advance down here of what I've got to get done. So, yeah, that should be it. I did just think about my school starts on the 26th. So generally the weekend before we get our syllabus and all that good stuff to review. So I'm going to put down here as a task to print syllabus. Guys, I can't even spell syllabus. I've been out of school so long. Okay, so anyway, that is how I do it. And then I also sit down after this is done and I do my boys' homeschool planning. I'll do a separate video for that. But this is pretty much how I go about my week. And then what I will do is I will lay in the bed tonight and kind of fill out my goals. I fill this out as I go through the week, so that's really no more extra work. And then if something happens or I call somebody or whatever, I put notes in here, so that's all here. And then the same thing over here with all the video spreads that I have got for my YouTube channel and my blog channel. I can just make notes about what I have got going on and do it that way. So thanks for coming along in this with me. I didn't really talk about each of these pages. I think you could see pretty good. I'm going to hold these up here just to be sure. Like, this is my health tracker. It's got my meals for each day of the week. I've got checkbox for vitamins, exercise, fruits, veggies, soda, and water. So I can put the number of servings that I have there. My sleep, I just make a dot for the time I went to sleep and a dot for the time I woke up and draw a line there, and it just kind of shows my sleep pattern. And then I also can look at my mood in the afternoon and the morning. The good thing about actually writing all of this stuff down is that if you go to noticing trends, it can help you make changes. I've got snacks down here. We've already went over the other side. Sorry, this is hard to do. This week's goals, so I've got personal, family, spiritual, art, and business. I will write in each of those goals. Sometimes the goals that I have got correspond to the red book with actual projects and tasks and stuff, just depending on what I'm wanting to get done. And then you've seen me create this page, and we filled this page out together, and then the meal plan back here, and I just kind of was showing you the good thing about actually using the sticky notes is that, as you've seen when I filled it out, I realized that I had done would not work on that day, so I just switched the sticky notes around. Another thing is, let's say you're not really in the mood for what you have that day, you can just switch the sticky note around. And the same thing with these here is that once you fill up a sticky note, you can just pull it off and throw it away, and it saves pages in your journal. So, and another good thing about keeping these is if you've got a random note that you need to do for later, you can just jot it down, take the sticky note, and stick it over here and tend to it later. So I hope this helps you guys to plan some. I will put a link again to the video about this system down below about where I got the idea and all of that. I do kind of use it differently than I had explained in that video, as I just showed you a minute ago. But it is a really good idea. And then I forgot to show you this. I just realized this is a clear pouch. They call them a job tag, and it's clear, so you can stick coupons or anything in here you need to keep, and then it's just binder clip to the bullet journal. So, yep, that is it. So thank you guys for coming along with me, and let me know if there's a different bullet journal spread that you'd like to see, or if you've got any questions. Thanks. Bye.